Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming something that I don't usually film on my channel. And this is gonna sound so cliche, but I don't know how to start this video. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get straight into it. When I was 5 years old, I was sexually abused by a far relative, so far away that I don't even know what he is to me. The time that I'm going to be talking about today is when I went over to his and his wife's house. He used to touch me before, but this particular time was different from the other times, I guess you can say. Since his wife was sleeping, we were in the kitchen and the kitchen had a door. It was just the two of us. He started to play with me and touch me, and eventually he pulled my pants down and he took out his penis, and I saw it. And like, even to this day, I still have it in my head. Even though I don't want to look at it, it's still there. Like, it just won't go away. I remember I was wearing a brownish nude sweatpants and I had like the little bumps like that. If I find a picture, I'll include it. I remember I was sweating. I don't know if it was because I was hot in the sweatpants or because I was nervous. I remember I was 5, so I didn't know, like, while he was doing all of that, I didn't know that it was wrong, but I also didn't know that it was right, if that makes sense. I didn't really know what was going on, so I just went along with it. I swear, you guys, it doesn't matter how hard I try, I just can't remember what happened after he pulled his thing out. It just goes black for me. Like, I can't remember what happened. And then next thing I remember after that is me leaving his house. Before, I was never able to talk about this without crying. Like, I couldn't even start the sentence because I would just start bawling. I never told anybody because I used to think that it was my fault. Remember, I had said that I didn't know that it was wrong, but I also didn't know that it was right. So I was kind of confused. But then it wasn't until 5th grade when I took health class and they talk about purity and all that, and they showed that video of the uncle who touches boy and the girl, I think, and he tells to keep it a secret. And I don't remember him telling me that it was a secret. Maybe he did because I didn't tell anybody. And I don't know. I really don't know why I didn't tell anybody right after that. Like, as I was getting older, I knew it was wrong, so I just kept it to myself. I really did think that it was my fault that happened to me. I thought that I should have stopped it. I would always just think, how come I didn't stop it? Like, I think it was my first year in college when I was talking to my parents, like, about how I felt and everything. I told them that had happened to me. I started going to therapy, not for that particular reason, more like to build my confidence, my self-esteem, communication, and all of that. But while I was with the therapist, I mentioned that to her. Remember how earlier I said that I can't ever remember what happened during that period where I just like blacked out? During therapy, she tried this method where she like hypnotized me to see if I could remember, and it didn't work. I guess I'll never remember what happened during that time. When I told my therapist about this, I cried so much, and I think we spoke about it 3 times more until I was able to talk without crying. I don't hate the guy, like, I really don't. I just feel disgusted. I've seen him twice after that happened. He knows that I know because he doesn't even greet me. He doesn't even come close to me, which is good because the first time that I saw him again after that time, 12 or 13, when you see family that you greet them, and I just like shook his hand. I gave him a dirty look. I recently saw him and he didn't even come near me. Like, he didn't even dare, because he knows. And like I said, I don't hate him. I just feel so disgusted that somebody would do that to a 5-year-old, because remember, I work with 3 and 4-year-olds, sometimes 5, and they are so young and so innocent. I honestly don't think that a 5-year-old should be going through that kind of stuff. I think that they should just worry about playing and having fun and making new friends. Like, I don't want you guys to feel sorry for me at all, because I know that people go through worse things. The only thing that does hurt me, I guess, is the fact that I thought it was my fault for such a long time, and I never told my mom. Some part of me wanted to tell her, but the other part of me just didn't want to, because again, I thought it was my fault and I should have stopped it. So I never told him until college. I don't want to tell you guys what to do with your kids or whatever, but if you have kids or plan on having kids in the future, I would recommend telling them not to let things like that happen, or if things do happen, to let the mom or dad know. You know, they always tell little kids to not talk to strangers. I think it should be the same way with this type of situation, because I feel like not many parents talk about that. Kids as little as 2 years old understand. I don't know. I think it should be kind of like don't talk to strangers type of thing. I don't think this really affected me, not majorly. There are two things that I think is because of that, and do not judge me, you guys. I don't want anybody judging me. These two reasons are what I think is because of that. I'm not sure. Again, I said, like, don't judge me. The first thing is that I really don't like it when people touch me if I don't want them to, obviously. But it's weird because I love hugs and affection. I love all of that. But if you randomly just come up to me and you touch me, I'm just like, get away. Like, I really don't like being touched. I don't know why it bothers me. I don't know if that's because of that. Like, I really don't know, but or maybe I'm just a weirdo. And the second thing, you guys, and I told you not to judge me. The second thing that I think is because of that is that I started playing with myself at an early age, second grade early. And I wouldn't say that I would touch myself. I would just say that I would play with myself because that's what he would do. I feel that since my body and my brain was already exposed to that, like I wanted to know more about it. I feel like that could be a reason why, because I was already exposed to it. Again, if you guys have kids or are planning on having kids, I would highly recommend telling them early on in life that things like this should not be happening, especially if you don't know what's going on and you didn't ask for it. It doesn't matter if you didn't say stop, but I mean, he was the adult and I was a little girl. That was it for this video. I'm glad that I didn't cry. Like I said, after going to therapy, I never cried about when I spoke about it. But for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be easier on camera, but I'm sweating, you guys. That was it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Friends, so I just finished editing that video. It took a while because it was not easy to make. I really wanted to emphasize that if you have gone through anything similar to this, to please tell somebody and don't feel that it was your fault, because it really wasn't. Nobody should go through things that they don't ask for. Trust me when I say that it really does help talking about it, because the more you talk about it and get it off your chest, it helps you mentally. It really does help, you guys, because like I said, I would not talk about it, and when I did try talking about it, I would cry a lot. So when I started going to therapy and after I told my parents, that's when I really felt better about, I guess, the whole situation. It didn't make it seem as bad anymore, and it just gets a lot off of your chest. I really suggest telling somebody who you really trust and you know that they care for you and they will help you. Sometimes it is hard to tell even somebody that you do trust. Like, for example, I have really supportive parents and they're always there for me, and even then it was really hard for me to tell them. So I understand that struggle, but I also looked a bunch of numbers in the description box of phone numbers that you can call that are 100% confidential and free to call. Again, remember, this is never anybody's fault. Everybody deals with things differently. For example, like for me, they black out certain areas that they don't want to remember. They feel guilty. In my case, I thought it was my fault that I didn't stop it and that I was going to get in trouble, which is why I didn't tell my parents. You black out, you don't want to tell anybody. A lot of people get in a bad habit of lying at an early age. Other times they start hating that gender, and many people also want to do what happened to them to other people so that they can suffer. There are so many ways that it affects people, and I really do suggest talking to somebody about it as soon as possible so that you can get it over with and just move on with your life. That's why in the video I was saying the little things that I do remember, because things like that you just don't forget even if you want to. Like, it's just going to be there forever and there's nothing you can do about it. I understand that people are busy and sometimes we don't listen to other people when they talk to us, but it is important to be nice to people and to listen to them when they are trying to tell you something important, because they trust you enough to tell you. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything. You just have to listen to the person and then maybe give them a hug in the end or something like that, because it really does help, you guys. I cannot emphasize this enough, but please tell somebody as soon as possible. I understand that this was a very sensitive topic, but I just felt like I needed to get it out there so that I could try to get some people to talk about it more. Just get a lot of things off of their chest and be able to, you can't say forget about it because you really can't forget things like that, but at least you won't be thinking about it and thinking that it was your fault, thinking that you should have done this differently. No, like, again, it's not your fault. It's never your fault. I just wanted to say that I'm very thankful for my parents. They are always there for me. They're very supportive. We'll just have a conversation, and I think it's very healthy for people to talk about their feelings. They're just the most supportive parents ever, and I know that they love me and they'll always be there for me, and I love my parents so much. Sometimes I just wish that I would have told them sooner. Maybe I would have gotten it over with. When I was younger, I would lie a lot because I thought many things were my fault. I just never wanted to get in trouble. But when you're young, you don't understand, and I was just very confused. Like, now I know that it was not my fault at all, and I'm glad that I was able to tell my parents, even though it was like 3 years ago that I told them. But I'm glad that I did, and I got professional help as well. Again, I have a lot of numbers down below related to this subject, and you guys, my Instagram is also down there, so you can DM me and I will be there. I always have my phone with me. And I know I already did an outro, but I feel like I have to do it again. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.